Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Mensa Augustine. Please, if you are new here, kindly subscribe to my channel. And if you have been watching my videos and you've not yet subscribed, please kindly subscribe for us to build the mathematics community. In this lesson, we are going to look at the third law of exponents or the third law of indices. So join me as we go through. Remember to like the video, share and leave your comments. Now, let's start with this. If I have A times A times A times A from the first law of exponents, this is the same as A to the power 4. So, if I have A cube times A cube times A cube times A cube, this is the same as A cube to the power 4, because we've said that the power here tells us the number of times this variable is multiplying itself. Now let's check this one. If I have, let's say 6, right, to the power 3 times 6 to the power 3, this is the same as 6 to the power 3 all squared. The square tells us that 6 to the power 3 is multiplying itself 2 times. Wow. Now, let's look at something. We have A cube times A cube times A cube times A cube 4 times. So we are having A cube multiplying itself 4 times. Wow. Now, from the first law of exponents, A cube times A cube times A cube times A cube is the same as A power 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. That is, to multiply a number written with the same base, add the exponents. So here we have 3 adding itself 4 times. And if 3 is adding itself 4 times, it's the same as 3 multiplying 4, because multiplication is repeated addition. So 3 is adding itself repeatedly 4 times. Wow. So it means that this, our A cube, exponent 4 is equal to A exponent 3 times 4. And that is the third law of exponents. That is, we have raised power 3 to another power 4. So we are multiplying the exponents. Now, let's check this one. 6 cube times 6 cube equals 6 exponent 3 plus 3. And here, 3 is adding itself 2 times, which is the same as 3 times 2. Wow. So now we can conclude that if I have a certain number A being raised to the power m, and this final result, that is A power m, is also being raised to another power n. That is, from here we can say that we have the A power n times n. And this is the third law of exponents, which states that to raise a power to another power, we multiply the powers. Or to raise a power, to raise an exponent to another exponent, we multiply the exponents. So here the exponent m has been raised to another power n. So we multiply from the foregoing explanation. Very, very simple as that. Very, very simple as that. So now, it means that if I have, let's say, x divided by y all to the power 2 and again to the power 5, it means that I have x divided by y 2 times 5, and that is 10. Wow. So here we are not always going to look at this law straightforward. We can also bring it backwards to get the formula. So now let us explore. Let us explore small. This means that if I have x divided by y to the power 10, I can write it as x divided by y to the power 2 times 5, which can be written as x divided by y to the power 5 all squared, which is the same as this one. Depending on the factor I want it to come here, because 5 will multiply 2, and we are saying that multiplication is commutative. So if we change the position of the numbers, the result will still give us the 10. Or I can write it as x divided by y. I'll bring the 2 as we have here, and I'll bring the 5 out. Now let us explore on more. So here we have, let's say, a to the power negative 2 out of 3. And here remember that we are multiplying 3 numbers. We have negative 1 times 2 times 1 out of 3. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 times 1 out of 3 will give us this. So this one can be written as a to the power negative 1 all to the power 2 out of 3. We can have this one. We can also write it as a to the power, we keep the 2 out of 3 inside and bring the negative 1 outside. Or we can write it as a to the power positive 2 and we bring negative 1 out of 3 outside. That one too is possible. Or we can write it as a to the power negative 2 and we bring positive 1 out of 3 outside. Because negative 2 times 1 out of 3 will give us this. Or we can write it as a to the power negative 1 out of 3, then bring the 2 outside. Or we can write it as a to the power negative 2 here. We have 2 out of 3 here. Okay, negative 1 out of 3. Oh, that is what I've done at the top here. Wow. Positive 1 out of 3 rather, and we bring the negative 2 outside. Are you okay with that? So it is not always moving from here to here. At times too, you may be given the question and you have to break it to the third law. It is not always that you have to apply the third law straight. At times you have to go back to get the third law. So know how to go back to get the third law. Very, very simple as that. Because if the numbers are multiplying, we can do that. Now, let us use the 3 factors here. We can also write it as a to the power, let's say, power 2 to the power 1 out of 3, and then to the power negative 1. Wow. So here, -1 will multiply this and we multiply the result by 2. Or we can interchange the position of any of these factors. And since it is multiplication, we will get the same answer. As we can write it as a to the power 1 out of 3 to the power 2 to the power -1. Depending on how I want to use it. Or I can send the 2 outside and bring the -1 inside. We can interchange the position of any of these and the result will still remain the same. Now, let's check one other thing here. Let's check this. You see that if I have a power 2 and b power 3, multiplying a power 2, b power 3, multiplying a power 2, b power 3, multiplying a power 2, b power 3, it is the same as a power 2 times b power 3 all to the power 4. Wow. We are still applying the third law. And now, let's look at this. If we are using the first law of exponents, that is the product law, we can expand what we have here to get a power 2 times b power 3 times a power 2 times b power 3 times a power 2 times b power 3 times a power 2 times b power 3. And we can multiply the a power 2's together to get a power 2 times a power 2 times a power 2 times a power 2 times b power 3 times b power 3 times b power 3 times b power 3. Multiplication is commutative and associative. So if we bring all the a's together, we can multiply them together. So from the first law of exponents, that is the product law, we have a squared times a squared times a squared times a squared, and that will give us a to the power 8. We are going to have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So let's do that one. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Then this one gives us times b 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And what are we going to get? We are going to get a 2 times 4. That is 2 adding itself 4 times. And b power 3 adding itself 4 times. Wow! So this simply means that this one is the same as a power 2 times 4 and b power 3 times 4. So we can conclude that if I have a times b all raised to the power a certain number n, then I'll have a power n times b power n. That is, if I have, let's say, a power m times, a power x times b power y, then I'll have a power x, let me bring power n, yes. Then I'll have a power x times n times b power y times n. Wow. Very, very simple as that. So now let us use this one to break this down. So we can see that if I write 6 power 3 all squared, the 6 is the same as 2 times 3, and it is having power 3, and we are having power 2. So this means that we are going to get 2 power 3 times 3 power 3 all power 2. That is from here. A times B. A power n, B power n. And we move to here. So this will give us 2 power 3 times 2 times 3 power 3 times 2. And that will give us 2 power 6 times 3 power 6. Wow. Very, very simple as that. Now, if I have A let me write 2A power, let me do it power 3, all power half. This is the power. So this will give me 2 power half, A power 3 out of 2. When the power half will multiply the exponent 1 here, the power half will multiply this. Yes. That is that. Wow. So now, we can also talk about this one. From the same third law, we can apply this. Let's look at this one. If I have A to the power 5 times 4 times y all to the power 7, then I'll have 4 to the power 7, A to the power 5 times 7, that is 35, and 1 times 7, that is y power 7. So, if I have 4 to the power 7, A to the power 35, y to the power 7, I can write it as 4 times A power 5 times y, then I'll factorize the 7 out like this. So you should keep it in mind that it is not always sending the power inside, we can also send the power outside, like this one. If I have, let's say 100 times A squared, right? This is the same as 10 squared times A squared, and that will give us 10 times A all squared, and is the same as 10A all squared. Wow. Let us explore more. I want you to get this better. Let's say that I have 9 times A power 6. Now, 9 is 3 squared, and A power 6 is A exponent 2 times 3. So now I can write this as 3 times A power 3. Then I'll bring the power 2 out. Yes. So here, you have this power multiplying the power, and the power 1 here will multiply this, and we'll go back to here. So it is not always sending the exponent to multiply the exponent. We can also factorize the exponent, that is multiplying the exponent out. Wow. So if I have A to the power negative 2, I can write it as A to the power negative 1 to the power 2. That is, I've factorized the 2 out. Or I can write it as A to the power 2 all to the power negative 1. In this case, I have factorized the negative 1 out as I did here. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like my videos, leave your comment, share and subscribe for me. Bye bye.